Well, with me right now, I'd like to welcome back with us the conductor of the UCI Symphony, Dr. Stephen Tucker. And you were here, was it about a year ago?
About a year ago.
Yeah. Always good to have you here, sir.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Always good to be here.
Yeah, and we have got, or you have got, I should say, a great presentation coming up. And it's called, it's Brahms, a German Requiem. I haven't heard of that one. Not that I'm really up on Brahms and all that, but tell us about this.
That's okay. Most people only hear about requiems when they have some death to celebrate.
Okay.
Because the traditional requiem is a service for the dead. Brahms chose to write one that was not the traditional. It's not the usual Catholic ceremony. He called it a German requiem because he just took texts from the Lutheran Bible. And it is believed that the two people who he felt closest to, Robert Schumann, the composer, and his mother, they had just passed away. Schumann passed away probably about 10 years before he finally wrote this, but his mother had just passed away maybe 3 years before he wrote this requiem. So you get a sense that he was trying to come to grips with them passing and what could have happened and where are they going, what happens there. So he went to the Bible and took texts and set them in 7 movements.
Okay.
7 different movements to describe what he thinks the Bible is telling him this might have been.
So is a requiem usually, because I never knew that, what you just told me, is it more like a tribute to someone who passed away?
Well, it's a mass for the dead.
Okay.
So it has movements in there like the Dies Irae, which is Day of Judgment, you know, really, dark and all that stuff. He stayed away from that.
Okay.
And he wrote, for example, the movement, that the first and last movement say, blessed are they, selig sind, blessed are they, first one, and the second one, blessed are they who die. So he is thinking on the lofty side that this is actually very good because they have a resting place, right? And throughout the movements, he shows his different views of the transition from life to death and what they must be experiencing up there.
Okay.
Right.
You know what that reminds me of? Again, I don't know much about Brahms. But in a very abstract, yeah, I'm sorry. But what it reminds me of in a very abstract way is down in New Orleans, the second line bands.
Yes.
Because they go through different types of music, very somber and then very lively, and it's about the passing and the.
That is an interesting way to put it, because what I've told the orchestra, and I haven't told the chorus yet, but the second movement is like a march. A funeral march. And I tell them, I remember once saying to them, you haven't seen this, but if you've ever seen a procession in, say, New Orleans, where they're coming from afar away, and you go through the slow dance, and then suddenly you get through that transition and you're into the dance.
Yes,
and
yes.
So you can even experience this with Brahms. So,
yeah, it sounds very similar.
Yeah.
Now, one of the photos that was sent to me, you have someone in it that is singing. So is this set to words as well?
Absolutely. We have a chorus of 102 singers. And we have 2 soloists who will be singing specific movements that Brahms assigned to them. And they deliver some of the messages. The baritone delivers a message that kind of tells people, reassures people that not everybody is going to die, but we'll all be changed at some point into, some being that is otherworldly. The soprano, I think of as his mother. I really do, where she sings that I will comfort you. It's as if it's his way of having his mother speak to him to say, you now have sorrow, but I will comfort you,
Yeah, very interesting.
So it's a very complex and well written, and I will say, even though you don't know it, it's well respected and loved. Right?
It sounds like it is. And what I was kind of surprised at, I didn't realize that that there was actual singing in it. I thought it was
Just the orchestra?
Yeah, just the orchestra.
Oh, no, this is a full-fledged combination work with orchestra, full chorus, and 2 soloists. And of course, we also have another piece on the program by a really outstanding violinist who has been teaching at our school for the past 2 quarters. She's going to play a Wieniawski, a nice flashy piece to start the program. So before we get into the somber, we have a little demonstration of skill.
Oh, that sounds good, very
The
good.
night, Wednesday evening, by the way, we have a salon, a Brahms salon for people like you who would want to be initiated into what, almost the breadth of what Brahms does, and then you'll see why he's my favorite composer.
When did he live?
1833 till 1897.
Okay.
Would be his life.
And the only, most people know the lullaby, of course.
Sure,
They think of that. But what was the type of music? Did he have sort of a kind of a theme? In other words, something that trademarked him that you would hear? I mean, you would know it, but someone would go, no, yeah, that's Brahms style.
Yeah, it's there are certain technical devices that he uses more than other people. And he was a very devout worshiper, I will say, of Bach and Beethoven.
Okay.
And he spent a lot of his time working on fugal techniques, which is what we call contrapuntal things, where one line does something and the other line says another thing to it, and they go with each other, against each other sometimes, and then they all have this confluence. So he was very good at that. As far as a theme, you would have to be embedded in the music world to have, to be able to recognize, oh, that's Brahms, because he sometimes could sound like Schumann. But Brahms has his own distinct way of manipulating rhythms and lines. My old teacher used to say he messes with the bar lines because he writes what we call hemiolas, where you don't know where the downbeat is anymore. So that's what most people think of when they think of Brahms. Yeah.
So you conduct the symphony,
Yes.
and you also do the choir as well, or is that someone else that comes in and
somebody else
kind of works with you?
Yeah, Dr. Seth Houston is the choral director.
Okay.
But for this program, we're combining with 2 other colleges, which is a fascinating event. We have 3 universities collaborating. We have UCI, we have Cal State Long Beach, their chamber singers, along with our chamber singers, and Riverside City College.
Wow.
So we're pulling in these 2 other schools to have this wonderful tribute. I might mention to you also that we lost one of our previous chairs, the chair who hired me. She died last year.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So we're doing this in memoriam.
Oh, that's very nice.
So it kind of turned out to be the right timing.
Yeah.
We didn't want to lose her, of course, but this program was planned, and therefore it's the perfect tribute.
That's it's going to be quite a show. I mean, a lot of folks on stage.
Yes.
Have you done something this large before?
My first concert at UCI was the Beethoven 9th Symphony, which they call the choral symphony. With the last movement, we have 4 soloists and a large chorus. That was probably the largest thing I've done there.
Yeah.
Outside of operas and stuff.
How hard is it to coordinate 3 different universities together, 3 different colleges?
Well, in this particular situation, it was actually pretty good because we're all friends. And so with our new choral director coming in, he thought, well, let's put this together. And little did he know that these other conductors were friends of mine for more than 20 years. So it was pretty easy when he called them. They said, oh yeah, we'll do that. And so it took away some of the pain of trying to get people to sign on and to cooperate. So last night we had our first joint rehearsal of the choir, not with the orchestra yet, that's Tuesday night. at Long Beach, and it was a special occasion. All these young people coming together and meeting each other for the first time and making great music together.
Yeah, it's got to be very rewarding.
Beautiful. Yes.
And you were telling me before you've been at UCI for about 18 years.
Yeah. Yes. So I'm stuck.
You're stuck. They just have an excellent program there, arts program in general.
Yes, absolutely. And we have other things coming up. We have programs in the drama department. We have dance. We just finished Dance Visions, but they have Dance Escape coming up. And we have the opera coming up in May. So
quite a bit, and it's just grown. It really has there.
It's just growing.
And I know that over the years, the facilities have grown for it, and there's so many different venues for people to enjoy, whether it's watching the symphony or seeing some small production in the black box or whatever it might be. And they have outdoor concerts and, just have some really fun things there. So a lot of fun.
This will be in the Barclay, the Irvine Barclay Theater.
Which is a beautiful facility.
Right.
Yeah, very good. So this is coming up Wednesday you told me about is something different, but Friday, March 9th.
Correct.
At 8 o'clock at the Irvine Barclay. And I want to mention to folks that for you people who are watching, you can get special promotions and discounts on tickets for many of the different things going on up at the UCI Claire Trevor School of the Arts. So if you go to the website, arts.uci.edu/Laguna, you'll see that. So there's special discounts just for you on there, and including this symphony coming up on this Friday, March 9th. Great to have you on.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And really all the stuff that goes on up there is really fantastic, and we hope to have you back.
Absolutely, anytime.
Yeah. Oh, what was the one on Wednesday you told me about?
It's the Brahms Salon, and that will be in the Winifred Smith Concert Hall.
Okay.
And that is free, if I'm not mistaken, is free.
Okay.
So people can come and just feast on Brahms, and we have some Brahms scholars in our department who will be talking about Brahms.
All right, very good.
Good.
Doctor, thank you very much. Good to see you again. You take care, and we'll be right back.
Thanks.